Hey, what's going on guys? So we're taking a quick look at this Crenova XPE660 home theater projector. This is an LED projector that's kind of a higher end, inexpensive projector, if that makes any sense. Like, it's not the super cheap ones, but it's not super expensive either. It features a 1280 by 800 native resolution and 5000 lumens of brightness, which is pretty average for this price range. The 5000 lumens of brightness is kind of higher than normal, so you will be able to use it more outdoors and things like that, but I'll show you that later on in the video. Included along with the projector, we do have some kind of accessories. First thing we have here is the remote, which features pretty normal buttons such as the power button, the mute button, the play pause, those kind of things. Nothing too interesting here, it's just a very lightweight remote. My only problem with the remote, unfortunately, is the battery compartment. It's a little bit difficult to remove from the back. They have like a tiny little place for a screwdriver, but it's kind of strange to remove. You do have to kind of get your fingernail in there and just kind of pull it off, and the whole back comes off rather than just a battery compartment, which does make it very difficult to replace the batteries. It's just a little bit annoying. I don't know, I wish it was a lot easier. A tiny little thing for the remote, but it is something to keep in mind. The second thing we have here is just the normal power cable, which is of course for powering the projector. We do also have an included HDMI cable, which is very nice to see. It's not so often that companies will include them, because most people do have them laying around, but it is very nice that Crenova decided to include one. The final thing here in the box is a little AV adapter cable, which is for using with the projector. If you do have something that will use these two audio cables, then it will convert it into a single cable that will work with this projector, which is very nice to see, so that you are able to use basically any equipment you might have with this projector. Getting into the projector itself, you can see that it is actually fairly large. It's quite a bit bigger than maybe some of the $80 projectors that are pretty small and portable. This one is not so portable, but it is a higher quality than those ones would be, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I put my camera on top of it just to show you the size. Like I said, it is fairly big. It's definitely better for leaving at home, maybe attaching to the ceiling or something, than it is for traveling or such, because it is a fairly large projector. On the back of the projector, we do of course have the place where the power cable connects. We do have an on-off switch, and then we have two HDMI ports, which is very nice to see, so you are able to connect two HDMI devices at the same time. And then we have two USB ports, which you can use to connect a USB flash drive with movies on it or something similar to that. The final thing we have here is the IR receiver. This is one of two, and it is for receiving the signal from the remote. On the side of the projector, we do have a couple more input options. We do have a VGA input, which isn't too heavily used anymore, but it's still nice to see if you have an old computer or something like that. And we do have our AV input port, as well as an audio out if you wish to use the projector with headphones. Once you actually get the projector plugged in and everything, the first thing you're greeted with is the USB input menu. You can see that it does look very similar to iOS, and that we do have options for music, photo, movie, and text. Seems like some copyright violations there, but not too big of a deal. But you can select whichever one you would prefer, and it will go ahead and read the USB device should you have it plugged in, and it will select those media types from that device. On the remote, we do have a button that will go ahead and reverse and flip the screen for you, depending on which setting you want to have it on. So if you have it on the ceiling or something, of course you want to flip the image upside down, so it is nice to very easily be able to do this, and you can cycle through the different options by pushing the button on the remote. We do also have a bunch of different settings, which will allow you to truly customize the experience of the projector depending on the kind of environment you're using it in. One thing that's pretty cool is the digital keystone correction. So if you have it at a slight angle or something, then you can use this digital keystone correction, and it'll do a really good job of correcting the image to make it kind of square again. So if you have it, like I said, tilted at an angle or something, this keystone correction will go ahead and adjust for that. So it does make it very easy to use in a wide variety of environments. When it comes to picture quality, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this projector. As I mentioned earlier, it does have a native resolution of 1280 by 800, which is not great, but this is about an 8-foot projection on my ceiling, and it does a pretty good job of picking up the different details and things of the video. Factoring in both the price and the resolution, I was very surprised at the quality. It is definitely watchable for a normal family, and you can read text and things on the video, even at an 8-foot projection. The projection size does get bigger as well, and the quality didn't drop too much when it did that, so I was definitely impressed with the video quality as well as the brightness. This video you're seeing now, it was taken with all the windows open during broad daylight, and you can still see a very clear image on the ceiling, so definitely a surprisingly good picture quality and brightness for this projector, which is of course one of the most important aspects. Another thing I like about this projector is that the fan noise is not too loud. I'll play a sample of it now. Of course, it does sound like a normal fan, but it is pretty quiet compared to other projectors that I've used. You can definitely hear the audio of movies and things over it without any problems, which is of course very important. So anyway, this has been a quick look at the Crenova XPE660 LED projector. I do really like this projector for the price, and I would definitely recommend it. It has many input options, which is kind of uncommon for cheaper projectors. It does have very good picture quality, it has low noise, it has fairly good sound quality, and overall it is a fairly solid projector. You can't expect amazing things from it due to its price, but for the price it is definitely a solid option. And yeah, anyway, this has been Jordan for Joel Reviews. If you guys enjoyed this video, then a like rating is always appreciated, and if you'd like to see more videos very similar to this one, then feel free to subscribe. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.